Welcome to the ACS Learning Center. In this review, we're going to take a look at bleach and how does it work. Bleach is a generic name for any chemical product used to help remove stains. There are many different types of bleaches available on the market. In this tutorial, we're going to focus on the stainer, which is a chlorine bleach for white linen, and brightener that is an oxygen bleach and color safe for color items. So how does bleach actually work? It oxidizes color substances to become colorless. So bleach doesn't actually remove the stain, it takes the color pigments out of a stain to render them colorless. It does this when it comes into contact with a stain. It gases off, and the reaction of the gas oxidizes the color or removes the colors out of the stain. In the laundry process and using bleach, there are 4 controlling factors that affects the performance of bleach: temperature, time, pH, and soils. Let's take a look at each one of these controlling factors. Let's start with temperature. If the temperature is too low, it slows the process down, which means it takes longer for bleach to actually do the job to remove stains. If the temperature is too high, it speeds that process up. We compare those temperatures to between 140 and 155 degrees, the ideal temperatures for chlorine bleach. If the temperature starts dropping below 140 degrees, it starts slowing down the reaction and the process to gas off when it comes in contact with stains, and it takes longer to be able to do the job. If we start getting up to 160 degrees and above, bleach actually starts to dissipate rapidly. Then there's no more bleach left into the wash wheel to actually remove stains. Time is another critical factor. If we don't give the bleach enough time to gas off and react with the stains, we call it incomplete. We start leaving a lot of stains behind on the linen. If it's too long, gas is only going to last for so long in the wash wheel because it becomes a gas. It goes in as a liquid, it becomes a gas. Once it gases away and it's still increasing the wash time or the bleach step time, then we're basically just wasting our time and money and energy. A good rule is between 6 and 10 minutes is a good time for bleaching. Again, when we're looking at and comparing that to temperatures, if we start dropping below 140 degrees, this time has to be increased to give bleach enough time to be able to do its job. pH becomes another critical factor. In the suds bath, we add in alkalis. Alkali is what increases our pH within the suds bath. Increasing the pH helps us remove soils and helps return the linen back to a clean state again. But then when we get into our next step of bleaching, a high pH based on temperature can actually become a problem. If the pH is too high in a bleach step, it can slow the process down. It's what we call it locks it up. So basically picture a gaseous bubble floating around in the water, and it just gets locked up. And if we don't release it, it just goes down the drain. Now, if the pH is too low, it makes that gaseous bubble basically just pop. And then it has no time to actually work on the stains to help discolorize them. So if we look at lower temperatures and high pHs, we locken it up. If we got high temperatures and low pHs, we're just gassing it away quickly and we're wasting our time. Soil's another factor. So one of the issues that we run into is there is a lot of gross soil floating around in the water that we're washing out of the linen. Bleach is going to gas off at the point of least resistance when it comes in contact with the soil. So it's very important that in the sud step, we remove as much of this gross soil as we can. So when we go into the bleach step, the bleach is really only left to react with the stains to help discolorize it. So to give you an idea of what we're talking about is, we're looking at bleach floating around in the linen. As it comes in contact, it starts gassing away. This is just a visual representation of what goes on inside this wheel when the bleaching step happens. So let's take a look at the ideal conditions for chlorine bleach. A pH level of 10.2 to 10.8 at a temperature range between 140 and 155 degrees. This is the ideal perfect conditions. And again, in our industry, rarely do we ever find this. So let's look at a chart that shows the compensation between pH and temperature. If we go back and we look at the ideal conditions of a pH of 10.2 to 10.8 at a temperature range of 140 to 155 degrees, bleach does a great job. As the temperature goes down, so do we have to decrease the levels of pH. Again, if we have a low temperature and a high pH, this is where we say we lock the bleach up and it doesn't do a good job. This is created in the wash formula, and when we design it to be able to make sure that we have a correct pH level for the temperature that we're washing in. Oxygen bleach, or a color-safe bleach, is primarily made of hydrogen peroxide. The ideal conditions for an oxygen bleach is a pH range of 11 to 13 at a temperature range of 160 to 180 degrees. Again, this is rare in our environment. We're normally running between 110, 125 degrees. One of the nice things that's happened is our chemist was able to design our brightener with a specially formulated ingredients to activate in low temperatures. We'll discuss the use of oxygen bleach or brightener more in detail in the Laundry 2 course. Learn more about bleaching and stain removal by talking to your manager, regional manager, or vice president, or contact the training center for more